Fixed it.
It still didn't monetize. Come on, turn on. That should have did it.
Dang YouTube.
Damn you, YouTube. You all know better.
I ought to put that down.
They never do they?
That's a negatory, good buddy.
Alright, fixing up things on our end. And then we can begin. I apologize.
For what?
I yawned. Hey, Hannah, glad you're here. All right, make sure that we're functioning properly. Awesome. All right. All right, all things are banging on all cylinders are on, and welcome, one and all, to our Friday, well, early For Honor Friday, I guess. It's obviously not For Honor Friday. It is Thursday, but we've got something going on Friday, so we probably will not be able to stream For Honor tomorrow, so we're going to do it tonight instead. We will do something different tomorrow night, should we have the time. Also, want to say before we get started, if you guys are looking at the thumbnail right now, you'll notice there's a new image of Claire on it. It looks wonderful, I must say. It looks absolutely gorgeous. You can thank Hannah for that, and while you're thanking her for it, why don't you wish her a happy birthday? Today is Hannah's birthday, so everybody hit up Hannah in chat and wish her a happy birthday. It is a very special day for her. We are glad to have her as a helper of the Raven Knight channel, always willing to offer ideas and criticism, and of course, her fantastic artwork for so much. So, thank you so much, Hannah. You are very, very much appreciated. Everyone, once again, go wish her well and thank her for all that she does. All right. What thumbnail? The thumbnail for this video, mate. The thumbnail for this video. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this started. We've got a Valiant Warrior, so might as well go ahead and get our first fight in and use the new Dummy Mommy look. What do you say?
All right. Oh, and they're all wishing a happy birthday to Hannah.
As well they should. It is Hannah's birthday, after all.
It is, in fact, her birthday.
It is Hannah's birthday. So thank Hannah for her fantastic work on the channel, for the art she does, and for having an awesome birthday. Birthday. June 15th. What a day. And we're off to a good start. All right, time to try out our new... I haven't had time to edit the colors and stuff yet, so we're going kind of with a yellow-orangish look. We're going with the Tangerine Conquistador. What's the Spanish word for orange? I forget. I used to know.
Amarillo's yellow. Anaranjado or something?
Anaranjado? No, I don't remember. I do not remember. And it's like, thanks everyone for the birthday wishes. Like, they don't make me happy, but keep saying them.
that it does very much sound like Hannah.
I would do that. I would do that too. Oh, you guys don't have to do that. But keep going. Keep going. I want you to keep going.
Flatter will get you know it. Please don't stop trying.
The Spanish word for orange is naranja. Ah, it was naranja. I remember now. I remember. It was naranja. I had forgotten. It's been so long since I took a Spanish class. So we're calling her the Naranja Conquistador. Because she looks like she's an orange peel. Whoa! We're either in the vault of Scrooge McDuck or we actually found Treasure Planet. Either way, we're loaded.
Oh, yeah.
Not the only one seeing all this sweet gold. It's like a sea of gold right here. How did you get all this on your ship? That's my question.
Manual labor.
Manual labor? Let loose the dogs of war. Anyone ever done that before? Like when they said, release the dogs of war, like there's actually a dog, like... And not just any dog, either like a Labrador or something.
Well, ironically, the Spanish did have war dogs, so...
No, I'm not surprised by that. Hello, Anna.
Did they set the season in El Dorado? If only we had an El Dorado map, that'd be awesome.
No, this is this. Yeah. So Ravenlord, thoughts on the Warmonger skin? Oh, it's awesome. This is a great hero skin. It's not my favorite. My favorite is still either the Ravier hero skin or the Maiko hero skin, but this would probably take second place. I do like this one a whole lot. It is definitely... What the hell? You couldn't even make the minions look like conquistadors. You still had to give them the Horkos look, just with gold now.
Yeah.
God, I don't know whether to call that just lazy or uninspired. Maybe a bit of both.
I mean, they could have just taken the original knight look, like with the basket helm, and just make it like the conquistador helm, but still keep like the chainmail masks.
I love this feather. It just it's so perfect. I love it. I love the feather.
Oh, bird.
Wait, wasn't that a genie's line? Fabulous. No, I love the feathers.
That does sound like something Genie would say. They released the Chihuahua dog. Ooh.
Release the Chihuahua dog.
That one mine just dropped $5. Shinobi next round, please.
Sure. For $5, Shinobi next round. Sounds good.
Show. Feather fit for a parade, indeed. I mean, they did have a lot of excess gold. Well, if you got the gold, you might as well purchase some grip. I heard a bong. Apparently there's a symbol that shows the hero and his weapon. Is there? Isn't it releasing the Chihuahua against the Geneva Convention? If not...
It ought to be.
Maybe it's against the Tribunal in The Hague. I'm not sure.
Ah, I almost survived it. Berserker, finish him off. Yeah!
There we go.
Don't worry about me. That warden's gonna stop you. Wow, it was a good fight for me. It was like taking on that warden and the centurion. I actually did okay there. Surprise, surprise. I was not expecting that to go my way.
Yeah, Breaker, you're right. We fully expect them to give them a Maquito. Or Makawit, or however you want to pronounce it.
Okay, we've got a very cocky Zerk.
Also, didn't Vela's crew gild their armor when they came back? No, they apparently did it while over there. Which confuses me. Because that means you stole the gold before you got on board, stopped to make a smelter and a smithy just so you could drip out your armor.
Crazy, isn't it?
Obsidian bonk stick, indeed. You two again?
Yeah, I get a sensation that these two don't like me very much.
I'm getting a similar reading from this. How convenient.
Thank you.
Our focus on scent, he's more dangerous.
And you go down, Scent.
I will give him this. He's got good grip.
Yeah, he's got good drip, but it can't save you from my drip. That's the difference.
Praetorian, meet the Conquistador.
Mr. Heisenberg says, wow.
Wow. Shouldn't he be the one who knocks, though?
Oh, he can light parry. Yeah, look at that. This guy's got god tier reaction speed.
Maybe yeah, I think this is probably the best elite hero skin. Because, let's be real, it'd be dripping.
Yeah, that guy's really good reaction speed. And he's a PlayStation player? That's impressive.
So,
see, I don't have that good reaction speed. I can't light parry like that. I've tried practicing, I've tried testing myself, like, I just can't do it like they can. I sometimes get a lucky one, like if I can read them well, but usually it don't happen. Oh man, they're all four ganking up in C. This is not going to go well.
But, I mean, the plan was just smash and grab, right? Yeah, and for Vela went to go just smash stuff and grab stuff, but then apparently she stopped to drip out her armor.
No, this isn't going to go well.
Oh yeah, they angry.
That Berserk has a PS5 with 60 frames. I have a PS5 with 60 frames. I'm just not good.
I think he's working out some frustration there.
Hey, oh yeah, we did. Did we lose a teammate?
Or did they? What? I wonder if a more fantastical version of For Honor were made, how would you go about it?
For Honor's already kind of fantastical already.
I think they just like, instead of like sort of like halfway doing it, like with just effects and emotes, like they just fully went into it. It's like, what would it look like? How would it feel like? And that's an interesting question to think about. Like instead of, you know, having knights, Vikings, and samurai, you have like the Empire, elves, orcs, and other stuff like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, I play that.
Slip on over to A. We won't win this one. The numbers alone guarantee that, but doesn't mean I'm not going to try.
Lord knows that I've tried
to carry on.
Ooh, we have a troll. When your pillaging goes so well that you have to upgrade your armor just to get more space in your inventory. Okay, Jack, that explains how that works.
I hate that move. Ki is so stupid.
I mean, the Cataclysm was kind of fantastical. They didn't exactly. I don't exactly think the Cataclysm happened the way it was described. True.
Did Berserker just eat it by trying to drop kill me?
Perhaps. One of these days we are going to see a male illustration of you in a thumbnail. I think you've been taken over by someone.
Yeah, that'll probably happen. If you ever see a male image of me, it's either drawn by Jay or Hannah's being possessed by an evil spirit.
Or I paid her.
Or you paid her. Not one of those two.
Some might even say that is the evil spirit.
I don't even mind that she draws me as a girl. It's funny and it's what she enjoys doing, so it doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
It used to. I used to be a little put out by it, but now
you learn to roll with the punch.
It's not a big deal anymore. I actually find it funny.
I still stand that we need a half open world mode for Honor with a guild system where we can use horses to travel faster and customize guild holes. I mean, that would be cool, but at that point, that's kind of a different game entirely.
I feel like I stayed down too long in that. Oh, crap.
Jeepers, there's a lot of them. Thank you for activating that. They stole my abuelo's life savings can from Mexico. Wow. Would it be fun to fight mythical creatures in For Honor? We fought a Yorogumo.
We fought a Jorogumo in last year, so that was really cool. Come on, guys. Yeah, get that Orochi. Get that Orochi.
Sick 'em, boy.
Pick me up. Pick me up. I'll help you get that Orochi.
Wait, I thought Hannah was a trickster spirit at the very least.
She might be.
Who can say? You're like, what's your favorite Mesoamerican culture? The Incan Empire, the Mayan city-states, or the Aztec Triple Alliance? The most stable was probably the Incans, but I kind of like the Mayans. I like their architecture the best. Hannah's an amazing artist, and I can go so far as stick figures, and I still managed to screw it up somehow. I'm right there with you, Ron. I am right there with you, Rodan. Whack him. Alright.
Crap. We won't rally for long. Well, Thor. Oh my gosh. Berserker, you're kind of salty.
Well, just a little bit. It might be our troll from earlier.
Do you think what troll? We had a troll?
Yeah, we had a troll pop in.
I didn't notice. What did he say?
He was just saying, I thought you were good, like, right after you were talking about, like, yeah, you know.
Oh, him? Yeah, I saw that. He's a sarcastic twit. He's been popping up a lot in my my comments lately.
Aw, dedicated hater. That's cute.
I don't mind him. Let him be dedicated haters.
Which is better, Conquistador sword or the Aztec sword? As cool as the Maquitl is, I'd rather have what the Conquistador's running, just because, like, in order for a Maquitl to be effective, you have to constantly maintain and like the Obsidian, and after a while the Obsidian will wear down and you have to just replace it. Maintaining a steel sword is a little easier to work with. And also it can handle a little bit more stress.
Crap, I thought he was going to fake it. Oh well. No big deal.
Ravenlock, since the world serpent exists in For Honor, and now the yokai, Yoroguma, and we know the Egyptian gods are a thing, what is the next Pantheon you think we'll get? We're probably going to drip into some Aztec.
Probably going to step into the Aztec Pantheon a little bit. I mean, I would imagine that would be the next step.
We'll probably get something from, like, Quetzalcoatl or something.
Probably. I didn't do bad.
I mean, we already saw feathered serpents. So.
I got 9 kills. It's not bad.
Yeah, no, you didn't do bad.
I didn't do bad. We were just in a situation with a god Zerk and lots of ganking going on. Oh, well.
He's the man of the beast.
I'll have a good fight with that.
It was a close fight.
Yeah, they did good.
Guys, it's over. You can go home.
Oh, and Mr. Heisenberg still wants to be an ass. All right. You go, boy.
One's designed to kill, the other's designed to make your opponent wish they were dead.
Yes!
Very true, Buckethead.
Well, keep in mind the use of the problem that I have with the Maquitl, as cool as it is I imagine it couldn't be used very frequently before needing to be repaired.
Yeah, that's my point.
Because, and not only that, but the sawing technique would probably cause lasting damage, but it probably wouldn't kill. You think I'm ignoring you? I kind of focus on the game, but fine, what'd you say? Fun fact, Jormungandr the World Serpent is depicted as evil because in real life or Midgard, real-life snakes lack the capacity to feel compassion and all other feelings. Actually, Jormungandr is depicted as evil because in the Legend of Ragnarok, he and Thor are going to square off and kill each other, and Thor is on the side of the good guys, so maybe that's why. Just saying.
I would like to face off against figures like Anasi. That would be interesting.
That'd be an interesting take. Maquitl, but with metal teeth? Well, then you just have a freaking saw blade. That'd be sick, though.
Give him a chainsaw. He's a commissar. You just didn't know it.
Besides that. No, that's pretty much the definitive reason. Unless you want to take it as a cultural reason, like they make the Jormungandr out to be evil, but then by that logic, that affirms that Jormungandr is not real and is a creation of cultural stigma. Food for thought on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Hey, Raven, the New World Eclipse symbol is the one that potentially shows the new hero. Okay.
All right, I'll take a look at that.
Also, you were asked to play Shinobi?
Oh, yes, I was asked to play Shinobi. All right, Shinobi it shall be. Shinobi it shall be.
I would like to see a different map, like in the Maze and the Golden Fleece story, or maybe a Roman Coliseum. Roman Coliseum would be an amazing duel map or a brawl map. But, I don't know why. I don't know all that goes into it, obviously, but I feel like making a map would be easier game design than making a new hero. I mean, I can understand that maybe trying to get a Dominion or Breach map to be relatively balanced could be difficult, but surely it can't be, like making a duel or brawl map balanced can't be that hard.
Yeah, well, guess what, Raven? You know who else is on the other side? Hela, and funny enough, she's not evil. She's just doing her job. The fact that she rules the underworld makes people think she's evil.
Okay.
She and Jormungandr and Fenrir are the children of Loki and a giantess. And those three were all given their jobs and they were all treated the way they were by Odin because he could not trust them. That's why Fenrir was chained up. That's why Hela was made the leader of Helheim. All those things happened because Odin couldn't trust them. Hela has no love for the Aesir and would willingly see them crushed. That's why she allows her soldiers to go out and join the fight at Ragnarok. They are known as the dishonorable dead for a reason. Yes, I too have studied Norse mythology. You're not telling me anything I don't already know. I don't know what the goal here is, though, because what you said actually contradicts your own faith. If your argument is that the reason people portray Jormungandr, the serpent, as evil is because it's a cultural stigmata that snakes are evil, then you're admitting that Jormungandr is a created concept based on the cultural cognition about what snakes are meant to be, thus admitting Jormungandr itself is not real, and therefore taking a piece out of your own mythology is unreal. Son, I've played this game with too many experts. Lark and I have debated like other people who've done way more. What's my favorite mythology? Oh, Norse mythology is probably the most entertaining for me, but Greek mythology was the one that I studied the most growing up. That was the one that I loved the most.
I'm just more partial to Greek mythology.
Greek mythology is just really fascinating.
I think the best about Greek mythology...
I think, here's the thing, Norse mythology is entertaining.
Well, it is, but I think Greek mythology is... I like it more just because it's more concrete, just because they wrote it down a little bit more, and so there's more to work with in there. Hey, Lark, when I brought up the fact that the NCR should have term limits, I was surprised you agree with me. Listen, I know President Tandy was probably the best the NCR got or ever will get, but there's no guarantee you're going to get another one like her. So, I'm not sure I want, like, a President Kimball to run for non-stop re-elections. So, it would make sense to start imposing term limits early on so you don't have, basically, a one political party rule that just never ends. Saying Greek is super fun to learn. Oh, yes? Let's see if Dagoth has an opinion about this debate. Thoughts on the Outer Worlds? I really did not care for the Outer Worlds.
Crap.
Just, I didn't find it entertaining.
Well, I fell for that one, unfortunately. Shugoki, I'm surprised you didn't just headbutt him. There you go.
Oh, jeepers.
What are Jormungandr's odds in the 40k universe? None! None! Jormungandr is a world servant. He wraps his body around the world. 40k wipes out worlds.
Tyranids are going to find him and go, ooh, snack.
And now you're snacked. Oh, look at that. A full course meal.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ravenlord, playing Shadow of War. Gotta head to bed soon. Just wanted to hop in and say hello. And Raven, keep doing the great work. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Have fun on Shadow of War. It's a good game. I thought the dialogue was very funny, the gameplay was fun, the story was very meh, and that's what kind of killed it for me. I really didn't get engrossed into the story, and the gameplay wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't bad, it was just other games did it better.
Wow, Mindless Grim is very upset with us.
Apparently.
I'm gonna sneak over here to A, because I think we're about to have a visitor. Or are we? Oh, yep.
Well, speak of the devil. Who put that there? Oh, one of the guys quit.
Ooh, good move.
Ooh!
Ooh!
Like, what about H.P. Lovecraft mythology? Oh, the Lovecraft mythos. That's wacky, but I honestly enjoy it.
Oh, good move, okay.
It's very alien compared to other mythologies.
What the? Ah, crap.
Speaking of Jormungandr.
There she came.
Also, I'm glad I'm not the only one who loved AC Odyssey. I see that game get so much hate, but I had a blast playing it.
Oh, dude, Odyssey's a fun game. It's just not Assassin's Creed.
That's the thing. A lot of people, like, they'll say, like, listen, I think it's okay, but it's just not Assassin's Creed. I'm like, I get it. And that's just the sad thing about it. If Ubisoft had just sent this game out and just said, hey, it takes place in the Assassin's Creed universe, but it's not Assassin's Creed, say they call it like Hoplites Creed or Spartans Creed or something, the game still would have sold well, and people wouldn't have complained about it because, like, hey, this isn't Assassin's Creed. I think they could have done that. Heck, they could have done that with the Valhalla too, and it probably would have been better received. Like, imagine if it was called, like, Valkyrie's Creed or something.
You're dead. Good job, Goki.
Because you do the Shugoki Pokey.
And you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. And the blue eye!
Can you read it? Okay. Okay. Guys, help, I slept outside of Oxio and I got ambushed by some Spanish dudes. They got me hanging in a cage. Sorry, man, we can't let you out, dude.
Nope.
They paid good money for you. Raven, how much do you know about Norse mythology, and tell me how long you've had to learn Norse mythology, and most likely longer than me because I've only recently joined about a month ago.
I've studied I've studied mythology for a very long time, since I was probably in about high school. I have at least 3 books that talk about Norse mythology. I've watched several documentaries about the topic and about Viking and Norse history. I've studied it for a very long time, and though I do not believe it, I do find it fascinating.
If nothing else, the Norse know how to tell a good story. I need to find the novelization of Far Cry 5 someone did where the deputy went full Inquisition on the seeds and did things like burn them at the stake while saying Bible quotes. Dude, send me that book. That sounds awesome.
Wow. Dude, don't get on me. You ganked me earlier with that warden. Don't start whining now.
Which part of history do you like most? For me, it's the Crusades.
Oh, the Crusades are fascinating. I love studying that.
Honestly, it depends on the mood. I'm a sucker for medieval history. I'm also a sucker for anything Roman related. I do also love my American history. Yeah, those are typically the topics I delve in. Raven, how about you?
Crusading history and medieval history are both very much what I love. I also specialize in Japanese history and many parts of Asian history. Not as good with Chinese history, still need to work on that some more. But I took a course in Korean history. Let's see. I find myself very fascinated by pre-modern history in general. Those are the areas that I've studied the most. You definitely got more modern and postmodern than I did.
Yeah, to a degree. Let's see. I'm more into Greek mythology fan, but that's probably because of the Percy Jackson books. Yeah,
that'll do it. That'll do it.
That will affect you. I read the first 3 of those, and I liked it. When do you think we'll get a Lawbringer hero skin? That's a good question.
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Well, honestly,
I hope soon.
I hope the next one, the hero skin, isn't a knight, just because they've got the most right now. I know it's weird to say.
They've also done, I think, 4 female hero skins in a row. It's time for a male.
Yeah, let's get a male.
No.
Like, can we get a warlord skin? Maybe like a Beowulf skin? That'd be kind of cool. Yes, I watched Viking. It's one of my favorite shows ever, if not my favorite. And no, I have not read the Poetic Edda. First of all, the books are for nerds. Secondly, I don't know.
The book? Hold on! Who said that?
B1.
B1, you said the Poetic Edda is for nerds, and yet you call yourself a Norse pagan.
That's your primary source.
You're a fanboy. That's all you are, man. I'm sorry. I didn't want to say it, but now I'm saying it. You base you say that the show Vikings is your favorite show. The Poetic Edda, and by extension probably the Prose Edda too, is for nerds. So you say. I'm sorry. That's probably your primary source in terms of your own mythology. So you saying it's just for nerds makes me question everything about what you think you believe.
I mean, that's the equivalent of, like we said,
Next, I'm sure you'll tell me that you think that Thor from the Marvel Universe is a true-to-life story. Like, dude, at that point, I'm kind of like, do you actually believe it, or are you just saying because you think it's cool? And if you think that the Poetic and Prose Edda books I've read the Poetic and Prose, and you think those are for nerds, okay, sure, buddy. Marvel has ruined people. So is the show Vikings. You think the show Vikings is historically accurate? God, the things that they made up in that show.
Yeah, like the concept, there are no lands out west.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the expert navigators and traders that are the Norse had no idea about England existing.
They knew well about England existing.
Okay, here's one. Hey, Raven and Lark, even though you guys are fans of Roman history, what are your opinions on Carthage? Although I'm a fan of Rome, I think Carthage had a rich culture.
Oh, they did. They definitely did.
Carthage is a bit of a sad case, because the thing is, I really sort of like the potential that Carthage had as sort of just a merchant empire and all, though I'm a little biased against them because they worship Baal Haman.
Yeah.
And,
Baal's an interesting case. Yeah. Is the Northman accurate?
From what I've heard, it does.
I haven't seen it yet.
I hear it does a pretty good job, but I haven't seen it, so I can't confirm.
I'd have to watch it. I have not seen it.
Though every person that I've talked to that has watched it has nothing but good things to say about it.
Well, then again, there are movies that are inaccurate that we watch that we like,
Yeah, I know, but of Cronum I've heard apparently it's supposed to be like a Shakespearean play, but just told through Old Norse style. So I don't think we can judge it for accuracy, but I think at entertainment value it's great.
I think I'll go Zerk this time. I don't play Zerk that often. But yeah, it's... in answer to the previous question, I find Norse mythology very fascinating and entertaining. Greek mythology was what I grew up learning. That was actually the first mythology I really got interested in.
Well, it's actually kind of interesting, because with the Norse mythology, the gods are sort of the focal point of everything in that. But in Greek mythology, it's the heroes.
Yeah. The way I look at Norse mythology, it's very much a collection of stories that help build a culture and foundation of a world, whereas Greek mythology is a set of standards and rules.
Mm-hmm. Michael, Baal, or Baal Haman later on, is a Phoenician and Canaanite god of storms and fertility and harvests, and Baal worshippers and Hebrews often conflicted with each other in the Old Testament. And also there are some crazy rituals for Baal, like sacrificing children and such.
Raven Lark, which with mythology has the most creatures, powerful entity, etc. Well, most powerful entity is, Christianity.
But that's not a mythology.
But that's not a mythology, obviously. I would probably say, in terms of magic, okay, so here's the way you look at it. You got to throw it up between Greece and Norse, because with the Egyptian gods, they're more like lawyers. They're more like attorneys. They're basically there to make sure things run proper. They're not really warriors so much. They're there to make sure the world functions properly. But when you have Greece and Norse, you have actual warrior cultures. But when you compare the two, there's a big difference. Greek gods can transform themselves. They can use magic. They can change people. They can change the world around them. Poseidon literally just spent his time making new versions of the horse because he got bored. Every Greek god is said to have these magical capabilities. The Norse gods are different. Only Loki is shown to have the ability to transform himself and others. All the others are basically physically powerful warriors or with some kind of singular capability. Like for example, Thor being the god of thunder, for example. But he can't transform himself. Loki can, though. Loki can transform himself.
That trickster Loki. But an interesting concept, because the gods are one thing to compare, but if you look at the other creatures, I might...
Oh, you're right. Odin can too. Shark Chaos is right. Odin could too. Yeah. He could change his shape.
But if we look at it, they're I'd say probably the biggest thing that isn't a god that fights around in Norse mythology is probably Jormungandr. But in Greek mythology, you have not only the Titans, but you also have the Hecatoncheires and all these other crazy things.
Right.
So it's hard to compare and get an accurate comparison. But I don't know, because you got Jormungandr, who's the world serpent, but then you got Titans like Atlas that are literally holding up the sky. So
right.
Power creep in mythology is weird. Greek mythology is my favorite, and I like it. Like the idea that Zeus is a bad guy, but is looked at as a good guy. But Hades just does his job and is looked at as the jack. I know, poor Hades. Man gets a bad rap. He's just doing his job. He's probably the most loyal husband of the Greek pantheon, and he gets crap for it just because he did a little bit of kidnapping.
Don't emote spam me, shaman. You got ganked, true, but none of us emote spammed you for it. What do you think is the most badass Bible quote or verse? I don't really see them as badass necessarily. More as fundamental, but I would say probably the verse about what to do when when the Hebrews conquer the lands God gave them. When you come up into the land the Lord has given you, make no quarter with the enemy and accept no peace with them.
I would probably say when it returns to the Exodus, when just talking about the plagues, and there shall be a great cry in all of Egypt, such as never been heard again. Once I give an offering to Thor, not even 10 seconds after it started raining. Well, actually, can't confirm that. I also ordered a guy to do my local tribe to do a rain dance. That might have also caused it.
Crap! I fell for it. Good job, shaman. Sorry, dude, are you mad at me or something? Okay, sure.
I think they might be mad.
I think he might be. But yeah, so let me see what else. Hey Raven, here the Aztec game, people complained it was too heavily biased towards the Aztecs and want to play as conquistadors. So the devs said, all right. Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
I looked into that.
How can you confirm that we did at the same time?
Thor told me.
How can you confirm that Thor gave you rain because of your sacrifice? That's like saying because I decided to flip a coin one day that my car exploded. Was it because I flipped the coin?
I could be wrong, but I think the flood story actually came from Mesopotamia. And there are many. Even the Mayans had a flood story.
Yeah, many different mythologies have their own version of the flood story.
I was just rewatching Beast Wars. Are you sure that was a good decision, Skylander? You know what you're doing. I trust you.
Did your car explode right after you flipped the coin? That's irrelevant. The point is that you cannot prove the causation by the correlation. You're basically saying, okay, I made an offering, and thus I got rain. Therefore, it's true. That's not enough. Because there could be several other reasonings why.
Which mythology, in your opinion, is underrated? Fine, maybe it was a coincidence. There you go.
Crap. That was a much closer fight, and I was outnumbered. So there you go. Oh, she's not bragging now.
Alright. But yeah, which mythology do you think is underrated?
I can't think of any. I guess you could say Egyptians because they don't get a lot of attention, and they're often misunderstood in a big way. But it's hard to say that any one mythology that I can think of is really underrated.
I would probably say Celtic mythology. Just because it's not very well understood, and part of that is just because the Druids didn't write stuff down, and so much of what we have is written down far after the fact. Or it's written by Romans or someone else. Sorry you feel that way, B1.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but you brought it on yourself, bro.
No, somebody said screw him. Which, no, guys.
No,
don't insult him.
Don't insult, but you can't be surprised when you act like a troll in the comments and people treat you accordingly. It's kind of like when our father told us a story about when he was in school. There was this kid that showed up. He was Native American, and he decided to shave his hair into a mohawk look. And he got picked on for it, so he told the teacher, please make them stop. And the teacher pointed out, you shaved your head that way.
Ravenlark, I was wondering what message in the Bible that, from what I remember, instead of bringing peace, I bring the sword, if I recall.
That would be Jesus' line. Jesus said, I do not come to bring peace but a sword. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not trying to start a fight or an argument. I'm sorry, and I'll stop talking about the religion. B1, here's the thing, bro. You come into the chat every time we do a stream, and the first thing you often do is talk about how you're a pagan, and you'll also ask me about Christianity, and you'll try to get me to come. Like, I remember when you asked me, help me, like, what's a good argument against God? It comes, and after a while, I have to feel like you're doing this intentionally. And people are going to get tired of it. People are going to say, dude, like, you do this every time. And then when people tell you to stop, you're being a troll. Don't act hurt. You know? I want you to come up in here and talk about what you want to talk about. That's fine. But don't be surprised, because you know I'm a Christian. You know I don't subscribe to those faiths. You know that. But you still ask. Ah, come on, I thought I parried that.
And then I asked why you think my God aren't real, and you said why my God aren't real, and I respect you for it, and I asked and you delivered. It's like,
yeah, I did, but you've said many times now about how you said, well, I made a sacrifice to Thor and I got rain, and we're pointing out that's not proof of your God's existence. By that logic, I could say the same thing. I could say a tornado came down where we were living the other day, and I prayed that God would spare us, and the tornado didn't kill us, so therefore my God is real. Many theologians and scholars would laugh that out of the room because they'd say, that doesn't prove anything. Correlation does not equal causation. All right, is this the way we're going to do it? Emote spam, dude. Emote. You had to drop a nail bomb just to get your kill. Emote, dude. Emote.
Very much see it.
Man, why are you guys bullying B1, man? Fine, we'll stop. Why are we the bad guys all of a sudden? I don't understand this.
Well, most people agree with us on this.
Well, I'm not trying to be the bad guy, okay? That's the last thing I want to be.
Very well. Anyway, they want to know where Lovecraft got like sort of the concept for a lot of his, or at least the look for a lot of his things, from the sea mostly. Because you'll notice like Cthulhu, Yog-Sothoth, a lot of these guys, they almost look like they're from like made out of cephalopods or something like that. Lovecraft had a very much a big fear of like the sea and the deep, hence like when you get stuff like Shadow over Innsmouth. So that's why a lot of things sort of have like almost have like a seafood, not seafood, but sea life vibe to them. Let's see. Raven, you're not being a bad guy. You're putting your limits, and that's fine. Hey, look, brainwashing orcs to fight for the Dark/Bright Lord army, their fashion has to be on point in the army. That is very true. Lovecraftian horror is supposed to terrify everybody, but yes. He was practically scared of everything that wasn't in Rhode Island, you are correct. To be fair, he was also scared of a few things in Rhode Island. Hey, Raven and Lark, have you ever tried playing horror games?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, my personal favorite is probably Amnesia.
I don't know what my favorite is. I mean, unless you count Dead by Daylight, which most people wouldn't.
I think you can go ahead and count it. It's of the horror genre. I want a new hero that wields a musket rifle, but the Aztec warrior finally released. They need to pick which musket rifle and which hero would you want. Yeah, I still don't see it's happening for a while, dude. If at all. I'm curious as to why Jamestown failed in the long run. Jamestown was actually the first permanent settlement. The reason they moved it to Williamsburg was just Williamsburg was a more advantageous place, but Jamestown had so much trouble because the people that originally set up Jamestown were there to try and mine. They wanted to get gold, and they couldn't find any. And it wasn't until the English started to realize if you're in Virginia, you should try farming rather than mining, that they started to actually be successful. You say Lovecraftian was made for to scare people until the dating game Sucker for Love. They made a dating sim for the Lovecraftian mythos. I've heard it all now.
Just look for like a chick Cthulhu thing.
Of course it is. I thought none worked and labored at Jamestown. No, they had to labor if they wanted to live. They learned that pretty quickly. Because if you did not work the land, you were going to die. Because at first they had to be reliant on the supplies they brought or the good graces of the Powhatans. And the Powhatans were not always graceful. Slanderer says, "Hey Raven, I'm getting footage for my next video. What For Honor heroes would have Conqueror's Haki?"
Conqueror's Haki, probably Warden, maybe Lawbringer. Zhang Jun, definitely. That old coot probably has it for days.
He looks like he could be an admiral.
Yeah, he looks like he could be a one-piece admiral if he really tried.
Shugoki.
Maybe Shugoki. His would probably be armament if he had only one.
Ah, true. Kensei, maybe? Oh, Raider, definitely. Let's see. Hey, Raven. You're not wrong, don't feel bad. You set boundaries and somebody crossed them. We respect that. Don't second guess yourself. Keep your chin up, buddy. Okay, yeah, Centurion would also have Conqueror's Haki.
Yeah, Centurion definitely. Centurion would definitely have it.
Oh, Astria too. Astria too. Zanhu, perhaps? I'm not sure about Zanhu.
I don't know. I don't think Zanhu would have it. I definitely think Warden, Centurion, Zhongjun. Those are the three that I definitely think would have it.
Ravenlark, what is the most annoying thing a students have ever done in class?
That's a good question.
Now, for me, it's probably when I took Gatorade and poured it on my school-issued laptop.
Yeah, that was pretty shitty. I remember when one girl just walked out of the room and said that she didn't care what I do. She'd try to get me expelled. Or, like, not expelled, but fired.
Yep, that didn't work out for her, though.
I wasn't invited back to the school.
Yeah, no, but you were not fired.
No, they couldn't do that.
Yeah, and now that girl is in prison.
Yes, she is.
Oh, Haki. They want to know what Haki is.
Haki in One Piece, in the anime One Piece, Haki is basically willpower. It's basically your own will, like your intentions. And in One Piece, you have three kinds of Haki. There is observation Haki, armament Haki, and conqueror's Haki. Observation Haki allows you to perceive the world much better than normal. And you can almost perceive another person's intentions or a location or what someone's going to do before they even do it. Armament Haki allows you to strengthen your own body or your weapon to make it stronger, to make it more durable, or to add power. Everyone can use armament or observation Haki if they're trained to use it, but only a handful of people have Conqueror's Haki. There are 1 in 1,000 people who have it. Conqueror's Haki allows you to dominate other people through your will. So basically, by having Conqueror's Haki, it means you have the power to dominate or lord over others. And people with Conqueror's Haki tend to be great leaders or powerful individuals who can use their will to just basically knock other people out. Luffy, for example, has Conqueror's Haki, but he also has observation and armament. He's trained himself in all three. So.
Because Rayleigh's just a bro.
Yeah, Rayleigh's awesome like that.
But, and Hannah would like to inform us that we are wrong about hockey and that it's actually a Canadian game.
Oh.
Because of course she would. Three vanguards in one zone? Could life get better? Yes.
Oh, I'm not enjoying it.
Conquerors is defined as the disposition to stand above others.
Correct. But basically explaining how it works for people who don't understand.
Because there were a few people in chat that were confused, Landy.
I know that not a lot of my people watch One Piece.
I actually have a sizable portion, actually.
Well, I mean in my community.
No, we still have a sizable portion. I mean, I don't think it's like the majority, but that's a plurality.
Raven, is it literally the power of orcs? No, because what orcs do is if they believe it hard enough, they make it true. But Conqueror's Haki basically subjugates other people to your will. Basically, you can break another person's spirit with your own. They'll no longer want to fight you, and weaker will people will just pass out in your presence.
Yeah, like there's a great scene in like the Amazon Lily arc where Luffy gets pissed and like knocks out like almost an entire stadium just because he's angry. And that was kind of like the first explanation of Conqueror's Haki. If I make a raider in D&D, which class or subclass will allow him to have a fire flask? It's not so much a class that has it. Like what you're referring to in D&D would be called Alchemist's Fire, and any class can carry it. Would Conqueror's Haki be a sign of one who is destined to topple the world government?
In some cases, some people with Conqueror's Haki could do it, but then again, there are some people in the world government who have Conqueror's Haki. Like I believe that Garp has it. At least it's insinuated that he does. We've never seen him use it. But then there are enemies that have it. Don Quixote do Flamengo has it. Boa Hancock has it. There are people who have it that aren't exactly good guys.
Yep, like Marshall D. Teach, for one.
Yeah, Teach has it, and he's definitely an enemy. But then again, I don't think he'd care if the world government got toppled.
He's just in it for himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty standard stuff, actually. Laughs and Barbarian Fire Grenade. Hey, like, which For Honor character would make the best artificer? Yeah, it would be Zanho. Definitely Zanho. Unless you want to qualify that one raider who was the blacksmith that Astria captured. What was her name again? The blacksmith that you had to escort that Astria once captured.
I don't remember Hulda, I think.
Hulda, probably. Which scene in One Piece made you feel the most emotions? Ooh, that's a tough one.
Probably when Robin declared that she wanted to live.
Yeah, that whole arc is just pretty high on the feels. Like, probably...
Oh, Elma. Elma was in the blacksmith.
Elma, okay. But for me, probably when baby Robin is calling out for her mom.
Yeah, that one. Robin's whole backstory was probably the most emotional part.
I am diagnosed with the sad. Raven, here in Brazil, there is a religion that started with slaves faking accepting Christianity and as a way to keep venerating their own ethnies. It's still a thing to this day. It's kind of big. Sounds similar to voodoo in a sense. Or voodoo, or how it is.
Or voodoo, I don't know.
There's a lot of different things. Oh yeah, when Ace died, definitely also. That
one was heavy.
Oh, it is very big on the big emotional hits, too.
Yeah, he's good at pulling.
He made us cry over a dang boat burning.
Yeah, he does a good job of making you really care about a lot of stuff.
Hey there, James. How you doing? Did you ever read Goosebumps during your childhood?
Yeah, I read Goosebumps.
We particularly liked the ones where you could create your own adventure.
Yeah, the choose your own Goosebumps or choose your scare.
Yeah,
like that.
I remember the one where you found these eagle eyes that could help turn you into an animal or something. That was wild.
Yeah, I remember that. That was kind of weird.
Sam B, someone say voodoo, voodoo, you voodoo. Unironically, still a good song.
Give yourself goosebumps. Yeah, that was a thing.
Yep, and then there was the Goosebumps show.
Not nearly as good as the books.
Nah. I think it's Centuriad, which is some weird synchronization of Catholicism and Antiva faiths. What was it? Oh, Golden Skeleton just dropped $5. Who do you consider the most boring? What do you consider the most boring part of history?
The most boring part of history. I find the Cold War boring. It is, it's the equivalent of a big build-up with no payoff. Not that I wanted a payoff, but, the Cold War to me, it's just a lot of spy and espionage, which can be cool on the micro level, like when you learn about specific spies and specific small events. But on the macro level, it's just boring to me.
I would say almost immediately after the Cold War ended.
Yeah.
Because after that, there's kind of a lull and everything. Not that I'm upset about that, but it's just not as interesting to study. There's not as much to go over. They're why are we afraid of the dark after watching a horror movie if we watch it during a nighttime? I have my own theory, but I want your own thoughts on this. I think it's just because, like, after you watch, like, a horror movie, your brain is, like, already, like, juiced up, and so it's, like, searching for things, and so when it notices there's something dark, it starts processing things that could and dangers that could exist there. And so it's part of the emotional state you're already in. But that's just my 2 cents on that. Yeah, to quote Helsing, blue balled for 40 years.
But yeah, in answer to your question about why we're afraid of the dark, it's because it's a primal instinct. We're scared of the dark. We can't see in it. So we don't know what's in it at all times. It goes back to our ancestral days, you know, like our ancestors feared the dark.
Yeah, and some people will argue that's why, like, the invention of, you know, electric light and being able to have, like, the lights on 24 hours a day was such a big invention, because, like, it sort of banished away the darkness. Who do you think is more hyperfixated on a specific race? The Doomslayer and demons, Pineal Whitestrake and elves, Goblin Slayer and goblins, or Zorro and minorities? What? I'm gonna have to go with Pineal Whitestrake, because that man literally, like, deleted, like, countrysides to get rid of the dang knife ears. Man, so angry he saw cats. He saw cat people and went, "Are those elves? They need to die." I'd have to do some looking into that, Silver Wolf. We're also scared of the unknown, that's true. I vote we flashbang darkness until it submits to the power of the law. We're gonna do a lot of flashbangs, but you know, if you're willing to go for it, you do it. As much as I know, the Cold War was just America and Russia yelling across the sea at each other, "Nuke us, you won't." It was more of a, that's not entirely wrong, but it was more of, if you nuke us, we'll nuke you, we'll blow you up more, we'll blow you up even more than that. Now, Slavic mythology isn't something we've looked too deeply into. But it's something we might be more interested in looking into. Everyone, have you ever thought about trying VR?
No.
Problem with trying VR is we need to get VR goggles, and that's just an expense we are not willing to partake in right now.
Warden, I'm gonna beg you to stop feeding his revenge.
Like, I mean, Ring Wraith, Talion, and Raven, I've been trying to get into Discord, but no matter what I do, my account won't let me. Then you're going to have to contact Discord support. I don't know how that happens.
I don't know how that happens either.
Michael, that's one way you could put it. It was an arms race in more ways than one. It would hurt. Trust me, we detect the darkness in the daytime when it's asleep. Oh, it's just like saying, we could land, one day we'll land on the sun, but we'll go at night, so it's cold. I love bamboozling people with that nonsense. See, I tried VR, the novelty wears off fast. I also think it depends on the game, too. And now we're currently in the second Cold War, and my grandfather said it's another measuring contest. It really is. No, well, that's wrong. Wrong stream. Baba Yaga as an event boss like Uraguma would be cool. Like, how do you think that might work?
I have no idea, and I don't think it would be a good idea.
Having flash.
That's adding too much. That's adding too much like magical ideals into it, since Baba Yaga's a witch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could have an event sort of thing, but I'm not sure you could fight her.
No.
Because, like, Uraguma is like an actual physical monster we could actually square up against. Baba Yaga's main thing is magic. What do you think about Mafia history?
It's okay. Like I said, I'm not as into that stuff postmodern.
Will we see another Cataclysm that doesn't bring a hero, or could we see new masters thing unique event with a big change.
I'd like all of those. I'd like all of those. It would be cool.
The most boring part of history is the time between dinosaurs and man. That's actually classified as prehistory, but I get where you're going. Escort the hut with chicken legs. I had to fight one of those things in Curse of Strahd, man. Let me tell you, that was a pain to fight. We lost 2 guys. See, Noah forgot to bring the dinosaurs on the boat. They just forgot to pay the regime fee. Rating history, you could imagine someone having a long, incredible history and someone on the internet say, yeah, I'd give it 6 out of 10. Yeah, it depends. Like that's why the interest in history is very much subjective. Season pitch the Book of Revelations. Oh, we do not want them touching that. Because I do not think they would do that justice. I see where you're going, Jedi. And I'm not saying you're wrong to want it, but I just don't think they would deliver on it properly. I tried, Michael, I tried, but Steam wouldn't let me. Because the game kept crashing. I want to play it, just they wouldn't let me. My favorite about World War II was learning that the U.S. hired the Mafia to guard ports is just something I find interesting. Well, you know, when sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And they know the Mafia could do a thing. It's funny you mentioned that, Anthony, the Holy Bible, the anime coming soon in 2024, because there actually is a manga Bible. And we actually have a copy, or at least the set of books, that is it. It's got like a Manga Messiah, Manga Metamorphosis. Very interesting stuff. If you have someone that has like trouble sitting down and reading, but they enjoy comic books, it's a good way to introduce the Bible to them. Or at least the stories from the Bible in any case. Do you think From Software could make a game about the Book of Revelations? They could, but still I'm hesitant. Jedi's all for it, though. Lord of the Mighty Jimmy. Mostly because Mussolini tried to purge them out of the Carmona, and they saw the Yankees coming their way as a way to help take control in southern Italy again, yeah. Wasn't there a Jesus game being developed not too long ago? I heard about it, but I only heard that it might be in existence, or rather in development hell. I don't think that it ever got anywhere, due to lack of funding. From Software only likes Oriental gods. I mean, they do a lot of Dark Souls stuff, so... Alright. And I think it's about that time we switch over to Breach. Yes, Jedi, I get the irony is not lost on me. Sark, have any of your players that added flavor to what the game offers at your table, like ranging from flavoring their bows and rifles to be magic-infused ammunition? My DM did create several homebrew weapons that were pretty crazy. Like, there was this Godslayer sword that he created that was absolutely bonkers. I would like to see the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse in For Honor, but knowing Ubisoft, that would be a really bad job of it. Depends on how they put it in, because like, if they're going to put in like mythic outfits, that'd be cool. I'm not sure what they do in terms of say like maybe anything beyond hero skins, like an event mode. Don't know how they'd work that out. Hey Raven, could you play Raider? From Software Mythology tends to be a bit of Celtic inspiration with classic Eastern ideas. There's actually a good bit of sharing between, from what we know about Celtic mythology and a little bit of Eastern mythology. Both actually did believe to a degree in reincarnation. Still waiting another game based on the Roman military? We all are, buddy. We all are. Hey, Raven, what level do you have to be on your scent build?
I think 8.
Jesus game has a boss fight with Satan, and I thought, no, it would be purely verbal exchange like Paradise Reclaim, where Satan rages against Jesus, asking desperately why he can't be like Jesus. I mean, yeah, there's no way to really, like, if you play as Jesus, you're just automatically going to win. I mean, if you're going to do something like a biblical game, it would have to be something along the lines of Superbook, where it's just predominantly educational. Hey, Raven, did you hear about the Call of Duty situation?
Yeah, I know about that. I know about that.
I am here today.
They think that I'm the one speaking. It's not me. Lark's been the one talking most of the time tonight.
Raven, I found about Diogenes, who plucked a chicken in Plato's class. Very interesting. That made him part of a secret organization with Lincoln, Tesla, and Roosevelt. Where'd you get that from? I know about the plucking of the chicken for Plato, but I want to know your opinion on the Cleopatra Netflix show.
I've talked at length about that in other videos. And in answer to everyone's question, I'm very angry right now, and when I'm angry, I find it best not to speak so that I don't say something I regret. That's something that I had to learn. I grew up with a lot of, I have a bad temper, and so when I was younger, I used to lose my temper a lot when I was angry, and I would say things that hurt people, and I realized earlier that I was getting very angry. So I just stopped talking so that I could calm down and not say anything I regret. I apologize for that, but I lost my cool earlier and I don't like doing that.
Well, it's understandable, but I don't think you got anything to be upset about.
That's half the problem. I got upset over nothing, so that's part of the problem.
I mean, I don't think you have anything to be ashamed about in how you acted.
I could have handled it better, is all.
Couldn't we always?
That's the point.
No, Anthony, you didn't do it. No, Michael, you didn't make him angry. He just...
No, the Cleopatra question was not what made me angry. I was angry at something else earlier. Those of you who were here earlier in the stream know about it. I'm not going to bring it up again. It's not worth it. Don't beat myself up over it. You don't know me very well. I am a master of beating myself up.
It's a disservice to both Egypt, Rome, Cleopatra, and Ptolemaic dynasty, as well as a complete mockery and underestimating of other African cultures like Kush.
I'm not trolling. I don't troll.
And Adam, you've been kind of a troll tonight. If you do anything else like that, I'm going to block you. I could see them making a game where you play as an Archangel Michael fighting against Lucifer. That would be cool. That would be more viable.
That would be interesting.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, trust me, Raven, I have the same issue. I said some nasty stuff when I was younger, so I totally get what you mean, man.
Well, when I get angry, sometimes I make mistakes, and I shouldn't. Anger is something that I deal with sometimes, and given the stress of the last week, I'd say, it's just been, it hasn't been fun.
Wouldn't it just be Doom Christian Edition? That's still enough to get me to play it.
I mean, I'd play it.
Hey there, Death. Good to see you. You don't have to redact the message.
Hey, Raven, I get angry all the time. It's cool. Hey, I appreciate y'all's understanding, and it's not anger's not the problem. It's how I deal with it. Okay. I don't want to dwell on it, but frankly, the thing is, being angry isn't an issue. That's not the problem. For me, it is that I don't always handle my anger the way I should. It is something that I need to work on. That's why take my response videos. I can get very angry in response videos. Sometimes I have to stop and talk to Lark about what I want to respond to make sure that what I say in my, because what I like to do is I like to script out my response videos, and I sometimes run it by Lark first to say, do you think that's good or do I sound too angry? And sometimes Lark will straight up say, you need to dial that back. Like, it's something that I do. And so in this case, I was angry, and I said no, and I started to say something very wrong. I started to say something very bad, and someone else in chat noticed it and said that pointed that out, and so I just stopped myself. I just said, no, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to calm down. And it took me a little while to calm down, and I apologize for that. And what was making it harder was I was playing very poorly in For Honor and eating a lot of chat and emote spam, and that wasn't helping my mood. So now that I'm chilling out and playing Breach, I feel a little bit better. It's still rough. I doubt I'll really truly get over it right away, but it's better than it was.
Sam Raven, I got a problem with my anger. Hey Raven, what do you... Okay, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. We really do not have any idea of what we really can't put on a concrete idea on what the new Viking hero is going to be.
Y'all can ask me all you want what I think the new Viking hero is going to be. I have no earthly idea. I don't have enough information to go off of. There is no way for me to know. I can't make any guesses. I have no idea.
But yeah, right now our best guess is that they're just going to do shield and axe. That's as much as we can ask, because that's what people have requested. But we've been surprised before. So what would happen if Lark were to get furious for a response? Would we get Lark rambling? You've gotten me rambling before.
Yeah, usually if I do a response video with Lark, it's because we both got mad at it.
Yeah, and in similar circumstances, my tactic is actually very much similar to Raven's. I typically just sort of retreat in, just sort of like think about the situation, try and calm down.
And that's pretty much what I was doing here. That's why Lark wasn't bothering me. He was letting me get over myself.
Yeah, because I've known him long enough, we are brothers for Pete's sake, that it's just to let him process through, think things out, and then come back after he's finished processing it. Because if you interrupt it and I try to go like, hey man, say something, come on dude, say something, then it would have only made the situation more irritating. Have you returned to Mass Effect 2? It has a black hole gun.
We're not doing Mass Effect 2. We just took a break from it. We're going to do it again, I think, this Saturday.
Yep, we're not done with Mass Effect until we are done with Mass Effect.
Right. Don't worry. We're not done. We're going to pick it back up Saturday.
Yes, Daniel, we are brothers. In fact, if you go back far enough, like, I don't know how many months ago it was now, but, like, we have an interview where it's me, Raven, and our mother and father. And if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's called Lark's Lamentation. That's Lark's ranting, in essence, but I have ranted on stream before. Not gonna lie, when I get mad playing for Honor, I bully the pikemen. The pikemen deserve to be bullied. They've interrupted enough of our executions, they deserve what they get. I want the snake execution, but I don't have enough steel. Then start grinding, my boy! B1, I would want to be the human animal. That would be my preferred. And if not that, something like that can fly. Viva-astic questions here. Hey, Raven and Lark, gonna head to bed. Hope y'all do good. Lark will be waiting on that build idea, and Raven, keep up the good work. We're here for you. Thanks, dude. You have a good night.
Yeah, man, take care. Thanks for coming tonight. Sorry that I was super quiet.
Yeah. They have no reason doing 11 damage per poke. You're dang right.
Yeah, I hate pikemen. No question.
We will all bond over a mutual hatred of the pike. Which is sad because in like a good Rome game, I love me some pikemen. But in For Honor, go away. You guys seem pretty reserved in your response, especially compared to other internet personalities. That's why we have a whole scripting process.
We try not to go too far beyond.
Typically, like the exceptions are like when we do a live response, it's typically because we already have a rough idea of what we're going to say, and we've passed the point of being angry about it to being, this is kind of funny.
Yeah.
See. Sorry, I've only been passively listening. Family's here. Hey, man, if you got family there, you do what you need to do with family.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do. Like, don't be distracted from family. That'd be bad.
I never went back playing Warlord since I stopped. He just seems kind of sluggish.
He does. Warlord is incredibly good in the right hands, but he's also pretty basic. He doesn't have a whole lot of mix-up to his kit.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the few heroes who's remained pretty much unchanged since his release.
Didn't he have like one minor change?
He's had some minor changes, but nothing big.
Mm-hmm. Alright, good night, guys. I have work again.
Good night.
Take care, Golden. I need someone to edit in a slap sound when we one-shot pikemen. Or at least like a bonk or something. It needs to vary depending on weapon. When I get angry, I play Doom Eternal and kill demons and chill. Yeah, I've been doing that with like something like Bolt Gun or Dark Tide. It's good. And for some of us, it's Breach.
When I'm angry, sometimes playing a good round of Breach helps.
Yep. Wonder what the new hero will look like. If I was a gambling man, I'd say the new hero is going to look like a Jaguar warrior. Because that is the most popular Mesoamerican warrior in the, popular imagination. Speaking of Mass Effect, it's going to be interesting to hear Lark pitch both the Council and Cerberus apart when he gets to them. One's a bunch of incompetent morons, and the other one's Cerberus. Ooh, yeah. Some degree of competence, but with a little bit of malevolence trickled in.
Indeed.
But all will be revealed in time. How's Bolt Gun, Lark? I've hit a snag because I'm at a sort of Zechian nightmare right now where I get stuck in this never-ending portal room, and I haven't looked up a way to get out of it, but I'm probably going to have to. But that game's fun. Don't forget the Eagle Warrior. Not as commonly known as the Jaguar.
Jaguar's more popular, and in the opening video, in the opening trailer for the season, they show a big Jaguar head.
So,
willing to bet. Willing to bet.
But then again, consider they might just call them something else, and then they'll probably have Jaguar Warrior skins, Eagle Warrior skins, and maybe even like a Feathered Serpent skin to go with like a Quetzalcoatl idea. Well, that's just me guessing. And Daniel, we're thinking they're probably going to use a McQueedle. Yeah. When I get angry, I play shooter games like Halo or Battlefront. Used to be that when we were irritated, we would jump on Halo Reach and do Firefight, but we'd like juice our stats out just so we were just genociding aliens because it's what the Filthy Covenant deserves. Would you like to know how to get out of that maze? I understand your pain. It took me at least a half an hour to escape it at least. If you want to like send it to me on Discord or something, please. Don't forget that every weapon in Bolt Gun has a strength rating. Oh, I know. I think Warlord is the epitome of KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, that sounds about right for Warlord.
Because I have friends that do very well as Warlord, despite his simplistic nature. As to Hero Skin Florida Man, listen, we got to keep it in. We can't give him that. It'd be too powerful. They don't have a hero personally. Okay. Killing Peggies is a great way to decrease stress. It is. The Eden's Gate deserves everything that comes to them, including the nuclear hellfire. And the problem is our gym isn't open right now. We're also in the middle of something.
Yeah.
When I get here, I just keep doing whatever made me angry because I have to assert my dominance and never works out good for me. Oh gosh, I know that feeling. Because there have been times I've gotten mad at like a strategy game like Civilization or Total War, and Raven will go, maybe you should take a break. And I say, no, not until I teach them a lesson. And then I'll stay up till 3 in the morning, but I'll be happy because at least I burn the civilization to the ground. As a heretic, elite preferred heretic person, you're on thin ice right now. I somehow approve. Also, war. Well, you make a compelling argument with there, so I will let it slide. Harry Lark, what could For Honor do to jump the shark for you? Jump the shark in For Honor.
They've kind of already done that plenty.
Yep. I think probably having the wyvern show up was like the first big jump on the shark moment. Then again, I suppose you could also the Jormungandr appearing.
Yeah, the Jormungandr appearing was kind of a big jump the shark moment.
Games like Paradox allow you more options to purge. Yeah, but you have to be good at them, which I am not.
Yeah, I lose to bots all the time, man. I've said before, I'm not good at the game.
And he is no longer allowed to talk.
Gotcha.
I warned him. He just wants to be an edgy troll.
Well, I'm used to it. I dealt with edgy trolls for about 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Longer even.
Longer even, but with breaks between.
Like when he sleeps at 3 a.m. after burning the civilization to the ground, I've won, but at what cost? Literally me in college. Literally. I came across a mod that replaces the minimum with the NCR, or how to make it since I don't know, but Preston looks dope in trooper armor. The NCR has always had the best drip. Or do you think that they would make the new hero use like a full obsidian sword?
No. Obsidian is glass. It would shatter too easily.
Yep, that's the sad part. It is volcanic glass.
That's why people who say, oh, I want to wear obsidian armor, I go, no, you don't.
Yeah, because they're thinking Minecraft, but then that's the biggest problem, because in Minecraft, obsidians would be amazing armor. But in real life, no.
Who to go? Let's go Afira. You might not be good at the game, but you're excellent at the lore. That's just being a writer. That's genuinely just being a writer. I could probably do the same thing for any other game I played if I really wanted to. Like, I could rewrite the Overwatch lore and make it somewhat better than it is right now. I could try helping Rainbow Six rewrite their lore. I could do a lot of, because what I love is writing. That's what I love. That's what I'm in love with. I love telling stories. And so For Honor, because it involves history, which is something else I love, it's much easier to make stories around For Honor for me because I love it so much.
Yep.
How did Lamia react to the Fira joining Orcos? She was pissed. She was very pissed. I mean, obsidian coated armor. Well, then it still wouldn't work.
That's glass coated armor.
It's not going to do anything for you.
Might look pretty, but if
it would look cool, but it would have no applicability.
Mm-hmm. I think gold will be worse. It would be heavier, but I think gold would provide more protection than glass.
Well, here's the thing. Obsidian glass will break and shatter very easily. Gold is heavier, but it won't break and shatter as easily.
Not to mention, if it shatters and splinters, you're going to have obsidian shards going into your body. Not a pretty sight. What do you think of the character for Rainbow Six Siege, the Florida Man?
Who's the Florida Man?
I think they wanted that as a concept.
Oh.
I can get behind that. And if you're wondering which one's the most like the Florida Man now, Mossy, maybe?
He's the marsupial man.
That is true. But Australia is British Florida, if I'm not mistaken. What if For Honor releases during the old-gen console days? Imagine how toxic it would be. Oh, gosh. Putting it on Xbox Live back in the 360 days. Good lord. Gold bends like lead, though. Yes, it does, but at least it won't shatter into a bunch of shards and go right into my eye sockets.
Hey, Raven, is this season's lore the worst one? Probably. Not because it's bad, but because it's repetitive.
You gotta mix it up a little bit, you know?
I made a whole video about why this is probably some of the worst lore.
If you ask me, Orcs is the Florida man running through drywall is our bread and butter. That you could make the argument. But then again, you could also argue Goyo because he's having fun with pyrotechnics, which is also a Florida man thing. They love blowing up part of their state. There's a lot of ways it could go. Sure, but the obsidian weapon is good for distracting a geologist. He'd say all these cool facts about obsidian, and while he was distracted, I'd hit him with my wooden baseball bat while he was hiding. Well, if you're trying to drag him back for sacrifice, that is one way to do it.
Why didn't the Aztecs and such develop metalwork like everyone else? They didn't have the technology or really the knowledge. They were a Stone Age society.
Well, keep in mind, the Mesoamericans had developed, to a degree, some level of metalworking, but it was with only stuff like gold and silver and platinum, which has lower melting points.
Right. Steel has a much higher melting point than gold.
Yeah, they hadn't really created a crucible-style furnace yet. And we have no way of knowing how long it would have taken them to try and figure that out. If you want to know more about story and plot, there's Raven actually has Raven's Writing Room, which where we're going to be moving all of the Raven's Writing Room YouTube videos to, where that will give advice and tips on writing. Australian people are just British people who made it up the further skill in this tech tree. I know exactly what you're referencing, and I approve. Well, the Aztecs were too obsessed with sacrifices to know how to work steel.
Sounds about right.
Indeed. Is this me, or does it feel like there's a lot of people here? Like I was here when there was like 30 people here, and I felt like 100. Now we have 70 plus. Now it feels like 200 plus. It's just 76 right now.
It's just 76, and I think part of the reason why there were so many is because it is the day that the new season started, so people want to see the new season and all that kind of stuff. Trust me, I doubt it's because everyone here is a big fan. I think it's because the season started today.
'Tis the season. The Greeks and the Romans actually did have some knowledge of steam, as Hero of Alexandria invented a steam contraption. They did, they just didn't quite know what to do with it.
Right.
They applied it a little bit further, who knows? There have been several videos posted on YouTube about the concept of Rome industrializing, which, woohoo, that would have been a history game changer right there.
I wasn't saying none of you were, I'm just saying not everyone.
Yeah, we got some people that are rolling in that are just stopping to see what they can see. Not that there's a problem with that, just it dims the brakes. I'm here because I enjoy your guys' content. Well, Anthony, we know you here.
Well, thank you, Anthony.
We know that's why you're here. The A10 Warthog is what happens when you give Florida Man a bottomless budget and tell him what the scariest flying machine since the dinosaurs. That's what happens when you let Lockheed Martin hire Florida Men. Alternate history data: Rome and China both industrialized early World War I. Okay. I heard once a sort of idea like before Battlefield 42 came out, or 2042 or whatever the heck they called that dumpster fire, there was a lot of speculation on what the new Battlefield game was going to look like, because we knew it was going to be World War I. We weren't sure if they were going to go back into modern day, and so a lot of people were throwing out hypothetical ideas. One idea that I heard was that they delve into alternate history, and basically like, what if Rome never died and it was fighting like with China and Persia and all that sort of thing, but with modern weapons, and I really, really liked that idea. But of course, they just decided to go with the dumpster fire that is what EA puts out nowadays. And again, my disappointment was immeasurable and my day was ruined.
Well, I'm in the second zone now, right as we got it.
Nice. If you look at the Conquest Rose necklace, you'll see that it has a Blackstone logo on it.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's kind of interesting.
You guys are the only streamers I can actually watch. Most others feel too airheaded and detached, plus you're just smart.
Well, appreciate that.
We're smart now? Oh, right, we've been promoted. Oh, shoot.
I always knew we were more intelligent than the average streamer, I think.
Well, I know more
The average, I would say.
Well, I'm more intelligent than the average bear, because bears live in caves. Bears
are crazy.
Very good.
I'm here just because I need white noise and your voices are soothing. Oh.
Aww.
Well, thank you.
That's sweet. We've been told we have a voice and a face for radio. I started watching Toasty Rep and you because y'all were the only ones talking about the lore.
I don't think Toasty Rep does For Honor anymore, though.
Mm-hmm. But I do
think
have
he
to.
stopped after Griffin.
But I do have to ask you this: who is Daniel? It's a name that asks a lot. I love how much y'all interact with people in chat. Honestly, that's one of the nice things about the channel being the size that it is. Like, we're getting a lot of people that come in and talk, but we're not getting like such a large stream that we can't possibly engage with everyone, and so we get to engage with a large number of you, and that's honestly makes these streams very fun. Personally, I think that even though the Qin dynasty was short-lived, it forever changed Chinese history. I mean, it started the whole dynasty system. Well, this could be argued. I mean, that's more your bread and butter. Like, Qin was like the first imperial dynasty. I know there were technically dynasties before it.
Correct.
Okay. Crazy. I was crazy once. They put me in a rubber room, with rats, and the rats make me crazy.
Y'all are my favorite For Honor and lore videos about your characters. Thank you.
But as far as the rats in the room, are you sure they weren't Skaven? Always check to be sure. Those Skaven are a crafty bunch right there.
They might be.
The Qin invented legalism. Did they invent it, or did they just sort of
They pioneered it.
Okay.
I do not recommend Toasty Rep as a lore person who went off the deep end with Year 4 lore. I don't remember watching his Year 4 lore video. Like, maybe I did, I just don't remember what was said.
Do we think Ragnar ever existed? I think there's enough evidence to suggest Ragnar Lothbrok existed.
Yeah, Ragnar Lothbrok definitely existed. We have plenty of evidence suggesting it.
Yeah. I can understand being skeptical of it, but I think we can be fairly certain he existed. Maybe he didn't do all the things claimed that he did, but we can be fairly certain. Thoughts on Freemasonry? Hey, listen, if you want to do masonry for free, that's entirely up to you, and I respect it, but I have the...
Bars.
Oh, right. Yeah. We're not members of any Freemasons, and I don't think we would be allowed to tell you even if we were, but they're okay.
I don't have anything personal against them.
It's just, I'm not big into secret societies myself unless I start them, but more on that later. Seriously though, I have several friends that are Freemasons. They're good people. Can hamsters be considered undercover Skaven? You own a hamster? Don't you know they're always agents? They were just engineered by Clan Molder to be cute and cuddly. You mentioned me, Ratman thing?
Also have to check something else. Elves might be goblins. More research is needed. Actually, no. At the end of the series, he asked a goblin lord if elves were goblins, and the goblin lord confirmed they were not. He looked into it.
No, trust me. I've looked into it.
Oh, no, trust me. I've looked into this.
I appreciate he was willing to share his insight.
I just laughed that he answered.
I love that he hit him so hard he forgot how to speak. Clock have warpstone? Yes, I hid it under this cardboard box with a ruler propping it up and a string around the ruler. Ignore those. Best faction in 40k fantasy, and why is it the Skaven? They're probably the most hilarious faction.
They're the funniest besides the orcs.
My personal favorite is it's always going to be the Empire, just because I'm a sucker for humanity. I'm sorry, I just love me some humans. But, yeah. Them Skaven are fun people. It's like, we need rat people as a race. Okay, got it. What should we give them? Give them a Gatling gun. Are you sure? No. Give it a magical warpstone firing Gatling gun. That seems a little much. Give them a nuke.
Raven, do you think the Aztec Empire would have been as big as the Roman or Chinese Empire if they had more time? No.
No, absolutely not.
Not at all. Many people blame the conquistadors on the falling of the Aztec Empire. If I'm being honest, they just made it happen faster. The Aztec Empire was destined to crash and burn.
Jacobez Kennedy, I apologize for mispronouncing your name, just dropped $2 saying, "Hey Raven, I missed the Demon Dagger event. I'm assuming he's like, what event do you miss the most?"
The Jorogumo event, yeah, I'm with you there. I missed that one. That one was awesome. I hope they bring it back sometime.
I'm happy the Jormungandr event's coming back. That's
coming back at the end of the Title 1.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that in all of the Warhammer worlds, the Empire of Man and Fantasy is the best to generally live in? Probably. The Empire of Man is probably the best of the human countries to live in, except for maybe like a few of the Southern Realms border states.
Okay, that was the coolest thing ever. I used my third feet to throw that berserker into the and I just knocked both of them into the
Oh, look, bonding! Oh, that's cute. Look at him.
That may be my best Ophira moment. Top Ophira moment right there.
But yeah, I would say that for humans, it's probably the Empire to live in, but best quality of life overall is probably going to be found in West and Eastern Ulthuan. So that way, you still got high elf living standards, but you're also not constantly getting raided by the Druki. Have you guys seen the Furry Crusaders videos by Flashgits?
Yes, I have.
Those are hilarious, and for those of you that are wondering what of our favorite Flashgits videos, those are probably it. Honestly, they do a pretty good job of summing up Warhammer 40k relatively quickly, too. I definitely wouldn't want to be in Dark Elf territory. Nobody wants to be in Dark Elf territory, not even the Dark Elves. That's the reason they keep trying to take Ulthuan.
Correct. I think you got time for one more after this.
Yep. I stick to the Space Wolves in Warhammer 40k thanks to the leader who is the strongest of the Space Wolves. His name is Logan Grimnar.
That's a pretty cool name, actually.
Have you new thieves? I just love the christening process for making new Space Wolves. All right, we're gonna send you into that portal. And if you get aroused, we're killing you.
And if you get a boner, we're killing you.
I'm sorry, what? There's gonna be a squid that screams at you.
Wait, what are you talking? Are we fighting a kraken? Nay. Why are we so down in the edge? Because what's with this gate? My victims, Volva, do I have to throw you into the dark abyss myself? Sorry, what? Get in there!
If you guys have not seen that little sketch from Alphabusa, you need to see that.
It is so funny.
I refuse to believe it's not Space Wolf's lore.
When he comes out, well done, laddie. No flags risen. It's a good thing they didn't show you the wolf tits, or you would have been right fucked, boy.
Just shove the Canis Helix into my face so I can go into the wild.
Please and thank you. All Father willing.
It kills me that he had to discontinue that series, man. Good question. On one hand, the Empire is pretty evil, but at the same time...
Who are we talking about?
Oh, they're talking about Star Wars now. On one hand, the Empire is pretty evil, but at the same time, the Republic wouldn't have fallen if the people were happy under it. Well, the thing is, there was also chicanery going on with it. And this is a thing I've noticed a lot of times when it comes to fictional factions. They assume that if there is ever any problem with a faction, the faction just needs to up and die. It just needs to be destroyed and something new replace it. Thing is, though, whenever a new faction comes out, there's always going to be problems that come with it. So if you're just going to throw a faction away just because it has a few problems, you need to you're going to have a nonstop creation of factions. That's kind of one of the problems with the French Revolution. They kept on creating a new system, executing more people, throwing it away, and then replacing it with another system that continued to execute people. Well, so that's why I'm a big fan of reforming stuff. Only if something is too far gone should it be just thrown in the dustbin.
Hey, Raymond Lark, do you guys like the YouTuber called What Do You Mean?
Yeah,
yes,
we
like him. We like him. The New Republic didn't even know what they were doing. Yeah, correct. What are your thoughts about Edgar Allan Poe and H.P. Lovecraft? Both were excellent horror writers for their time. Both still are very enjoyable today. Poe, I think, was a very understandable kind of horror, where Lovecraft was creating all new kinds of horror.
The cosmic horror genre. Could the Sith Empire have been reformed? Theoretically, but
theoretically it could have been, but
at some point I'll do a Lamentations on it, but that's going to be far off.
All right, we got time for one more tonight.
One more time now. Personally, I think the Galactic Republic Senate needs a little bit of restructure. Yeah, that's definitely true. And by restructure, I think you mean a bomb to... I'm kidding, of course. Actually, no, Yoda and Palpatine did some restructuring when they threw all those chairs around.
That was kind of cool.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. Raven, why does Horkos pick fights with random foreign factions when they could get invaded by them? That's a great question. Why do that? It's almost like the writers are filled with contrivium.
Correct.
Can you play PK?
Yeah, I'll play PK. Oh, hey, Raven, if the Knights and Samurai ever did meet, do you think they'd respect each other? Depends on how. Like how they met.
Yeah, it depends on circumstances. There's every possibility they could have.
I mean, they possibly could have. But again, it depends on how they met.
Like, if they just met, like, say, like Nagasaki during, like, a trading mission, they probably would have gotten along fine.
Man, if you're still there, I'm going to be playing your baby. I know how much you love me playing your baby.
This season would have made more sense if Vela was chasing Yin Chen.
Yeah, that would have been... Like, yeah, that would have been an even better idea. Like, what if instead Vela was sitting to chase after Yin Chen, and that's how she stumbled across the City of Gold, and then came back and said, hey, I couldn't find Yin Chen, but look what else I found. That would have been way better. Like,
Poor guy, like, please let me go home. No. Ubi Riders on their 10th line of cocaine. Which one? The Indians, of course. I would not be surprised to find out there was some riders that were doing a few lines before they got writing. I still think PK needs a new tool to fight.
Well, since this is our last match of the night, this is your chance to get us answering questions or ranting about something. I know that I kind of ruined part of the evening with my silence, but we can make up for it.
What if she actually saw a refuge with them?
With the Aztecs?
Or, I guess, the Aztec with them.
Or maybe they sacrificed Yin Chen.
I could say. Actually, that would be really interesting. What if the people, well, whoever sailed, Horkos or Chimera, sailed over there, and one of the people ran up to them saying, like, hey, you need to save me, and so because they were about to be sacrificed, so they brought them back to Horkos, and Jaguars hunted them down because they wanted to bring that sacrifice back.
Yeah, just way more people. Way more ways it could work. Mm-hmm. Raven, what is the most entertaining aspect of Persona 5? The decision making. It's a game that requires you to be careful with your time and your resources, and I think that's fascinating. I also enjoy studying the minds and mentalities of people. I think that it's funny looking at... Like, I think it's interesting. If you look at some of the personas you encounter in each person's mind, it's kind of fascinating how those... Like, for example, in Kamoshida's mind, we haven't seen it yet, but the deeper you go in, you find succubi, which are obviously... Succubi and incubi, which are obviously sex demons, but you also see angels and, like, paladin knights. And it's like, why would you see succubi and stuff like that, as well as paladin knights in a mind? Well, it makes sense if they are, at their base level, lustful individuals, but deep down they see themselves as heroes or virtuous. So it's kind of fascinating to kind of... oh, great. I would get 2 Kyoshins.
Kill them. Anyway, is everyone on the enemy team a samurai?
They've got a Hitakiri and 2 Kyoshins. I don't know who the other one is.
We'll see. They'll be back in like a...
No, it's Zanhu. It's Zanhu.
So no, they're not. Persona 5 has the best soundtrack. They do.
It really does. It really does.
But yeah, whenever I play Imperial, I always choose light side options because it's funny seeing the reactions of a Sith being merciful and reasonable. One of my favorite things, like when you go to Alderaan and you play as a Sith and you do the light side option, you're just like, sure, I'll give you the information you want, but you have to help my men. Deal. And the men are like, wait, why is a Sith here? I'm here to save you. You may now bow in my presence. It's hilarious.
It's kind of like that lemur from Madagascar. Feel free to bask in my glow.
Hold on, I have a new character concept to write. I'll be right back. Let's see. If the new hero is Aztec, I hope it has a heart rip execution. I'm willing to bet that it will probably be the first 7,000 steel execution, because by golly, that is too perfect of an execution to pass up on. Hey, Raven and Lark, someone called me an imperialist for Western. Do you guys get called out like that? Oh yeah, people accuse us of everything under the sun. Imperialism, racism, sexism.
I have been called an imperialist, a sexist, a racist, a scumbag, a Nazi, a white supremacist, a Trump fucker.
I've been called a communist, ironically.
I've been called everything under the sun. Yeah. I've been called. I think the biggest lie of all of them. I've been called a pedophile, and I'm like, really? That's the best you got?
Yeah, the internet is just crazy with accusations there. I've been called a clanker, but you won't hear me complaining. Are you going to be one of those people like, it's like, no, clanker is our word. You may use clank up. His name was King Julian. Oh, okay.
Okay,
but King Julian's best part was his chameleon stenographer.
No, that was the best part for me when his buddy Maurice was basically saying that they couldn't trust the New Yorkers because they didn't know them, and especially Alex the Lion really made him uncomfortable. And after he tells him all his thoughts, Julian goes, Maurice, you did not raise your hand and spoke out of turn, therefore your comment will be stricken from the record. And then the chameleon, like, I was like, that's perfect. That is awesome.
I also love how they had a book called The Serb Lemur.
Who wrote that?
I want to know. Who looked at a lemur and said, yeah, we can get some meat off that. That's some super Squirrel Hunter level stuff right there. Remember Mort? Of course we remember.
Of course I remember Mort, the little freaky eye motherfucker.
Actually, I believe Maurice was the eye.
Yeah, I think he was. I thought, what the hell was Mort? Those big ass eyes.
Was he like a Tars?
Maybe he was a Tars.
What were they called? Tazir, Tars, something like that.
Tazir sounds cooler.
Hey Raven, what makes Sarah's Victoria and Pitt Bernadette's love story from Helsing better than Korra's, and what's her face from Legend of Korra?
Do I have to explain that?
I think you might.
What makes their relationship better is because there was actual chemistry involved. We saw scenes of Pip actually expressing his interest in her, and at first we thought it was kind of flirtatious and goofy, but we at least saw some of that shown. Oh, okay. I guess that's the way Goki's gonna be.
He has a dancing cue, and you just filled it.
It's one of those things where Pip and Saris may not have had a whole lot of scenes to build their chemistry. We saw enough hints of it to recognize that there was something there. And then in his last moments, as he's dying, Pip confesses and says that he always loved her, but he never thought he was worthy of her. And that's why he never said anything or tried to make a move. And then he died protecting her. That is one of the greatest expressions of love that you can possibly do. In fact, Jesus famously said, there can be no greater demonstration of love than this, that you lay down your life for someone else. And so that was way more than anything Korra and Asami did. Korra and Asami never did anything that expressed or even hinted at love or relationship. If anything, the only things they did hinted at maybe a friendship.
Yep. Well, so speaking on that, hey, Raven, forgive me if this sounds like LED, but I heard that SMT and Persona made God the bad guy. Could you explain that to me?
I don't know if they really made God the bad guy. I would argue Persona 5 does have some Gnostic elements, I'll admit, but their understanding of God is not our understanding of God. Like, the way they interpret God is not the way God is, actually, so it doesn't bother me too much. The idea of the Gnostic idea that you're talking about is the idea that the all-powerful creator of the world in question is secretly a bad guy. Like, secretly trying, like, you see this a lot in stuff like Final Fantasy and stuff like that, where the one who should care and preserve everything, who created everything, is actually a dictator or a destroyer or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Raven, rant on why live-action One Piece is a bad idea.
Anytime you make an anime into a live-action thing, odds are pretty good it's going to be bad. Because there's some things that do not transition well into live action.
Particularly when because you're not only jumping mediums from going into a cartoon to going into live action, you're also, particularly because, I don't know why, but typically the West likes to produce them. And when the West produces them, typically there's a lot of things that are lost in the cultural thing, so they try and change it, and that sort of warps the source material. Like, the best example of this is Netflix's Death Note.
Yeah, Netflix's Death Note is a great example.
It's terrible. It is just an awful movie. And the thing is, all they had to do was literally just copy the manga. If they copied the manga, like, note for note in live action, it wouldn't have been as good, but at least it would have been better than what we got. I heard Rurouni Kenshin was good. Okay.
That one was a good one, but well, then you can also keep in mind Rurouni Kenshin was produced by Japan.
Yeah, I would not have liked to see Netflix try and tackle it. Hey, Raven and Lark, they got rid of the scene where Prince Eric saves Ariel at the end of the live action. Yes, because we can't have Prince Eric do anything worthwhile.
I bled her out at least. That worked.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. Raven, how about making a live action, and how about making a live action into anime? It has been done.
Yeah.
Like, Supernatural got like a season of anime, if you can believe it.
Kind of a neat idea, but not necessary.
The live action Peter Pan, Wendy is a Mary Sue, and Peter Pan is an emotional wreck. Yeah.
Saw that.
Saw that coming a mile away.
From what I've heard, Oda is overseeing that One Piece live action. We've heard that he's a producer on it, but producing something doesn't mean you have any creative direction. It just means they basically go to you every day and say, here's what we're doing, what do you think? Regardless of what he says, they'll do what they want.
Unless he's got a gun to like the head of the scriptwriter and director, I'm still having my doubts.
I just don't trust it. I do not trust it.
Yep. Japan made Halo into an anime, and it was 10 times better than what's on Paramount. You're dang right. Halo Legends is very much underrated. I think a live-action Jimmy Neutron would be very funny. Isn't that just Young Sheldon?
Yeah, it's pretty much Young Sheldon.
Actually, ironically, Young Sheldon isn't even the best thing about Young Sheldon. He's actually the worst.
I prefer everything aside from Young Sheldon.
The stepdad's the best.
Stepdad's hilarious.
Modern media is pretty Gnostic. Modern media is just pretty stupid.
Modern media just likes to say that... Modern media doesn't understand anything about itself, if I'm being honest. Like, for example, try this one on for size. If a person walks up to you and says, hey, the government right now is corrupt and evil and bad. We should do away with our current capitalistic government. When I say, what's wrong with the capitalistic government? Well, have you seen the guys in charge? Like, have you seen Donald Trump? He's just so terrible and so awful. We need to remove that power. We need to give power back to the people. Okay, well, what are you recommending? I'm recommending communism. Well, what's communism? Communism is where you give central power to the government, and they eventually lead us to a unification and unity.
Utopia.
Has it ever worked in history? Well, no, but we understand it better. So I have two questions for you. First of all, why do you think giving full power to a dictator is a good idea when you just finished telling me that having absolute power in the government right now is a bad thing? And two, what makes you think that a person given power will obviously hand it over once it's time to? That's very unrealistic and unhuman of them, because most humans will covet power. And you know what, I'll add a third question on there. If this has never been done successfully, what makes you, a person who just got their associate's degree in college, actually, that's being way too generous, you just got your bachelor's in
you just dropped out.
You dropped out of college, let's be real. You smoked pot the whole time. What makes you think you've got it figured out?
Well, because I have...
Because as much as I despise people like Marx and Lenin and Stalin and all these other people, most of them had some degree of experience or education, and they were far older than you in any case, and you think they can't, and you think they didn't get it right?
Yep. The war mommy thing is just a meme. It just kind of evolved out of that. Man, I don't like any form of government currently proposed, but there has to be like a better way, right? This can't be the peak of government. The thing is, I kind of agree with like Winston Churchill, where he says like a democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others.
Right.
Because that's the thing. You say like, I want a perfect government. Well, what you're looking for is a utopia, and utopia is an impossibility. Doesn't mean you shouldn't strive to do better. Doesn't mean that you can't strive to say, hey, I want to do better. But the thing is, oftentimes what people strive to do and try and do better typically sometimes makes things worse. And I heard once a famous saying when it comes to the concept of utopia. It's like, one man's utopia is another man's dystopia. Because you'll have people that'll read 1984 and go, I love this idea. I don't see the problem. But then other people will read it and sensibly go, this is terrible. I'm a minarchist democracy, 2 wolves and a sheep deciding what's for lunch, and that's why we don't live in a democracy, we live in a constitutional republic. But yes, I see you quoting Ben Franklin, and I admire you for it.
Yep.
Good luck, B1, you're gonna need it. Authors should really be more like Rowling when it comes to adaptation, in that you keep a firm hold of how it's adapted and make sure that it represents it appropriately.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, well, Rowling could have done a few things better in the adaptation, but honestly, it's probably the gold standard there. Because I can't think of many other adaptations that did as well as hers.
Right. Well, Lord of the Rings.
That is true. Those two are kind of like the gold standard for that. But then again, like you would be, like, you're gonna be hard pressed to find Harry Potter fans that don't love the movies as well. You will not have much problem finding Lord of the Rings fans who don't like the movies. Why do people call the U.S. a democracy when it isn't? It started in the early 20th century. We started referring to things as a democracy, just because a lot of people wanted to sort of push in the idea that, hey, majority should rule, because they believe more in the concept of political expediency rather than going to system. A lot of people complain the United States government, like, nothing gets done. That's not a flaw, that's actually by design by the founders. Because the theory was, the longer it takes for something to get through, means the more checks and balances, the more pressures make sure that only good stuff gets through. And that if something bad gets through, it went through a whole lot of checks and balances before it actually came through. Think of the checks and balances sort of like an immune system to keep crap out. And the more you streamline it, the more crap gets in.
Ravenlog, what do you guys think of Penguin, Z0, and Oxhorn? I don't know who those are.
I don't know enough about those to say anything. We all say screw it and start our own colony in the wilderness and shoot anyone who tries to turn it into an M. Night Shyamalan film. That's a good policy. I like that. The next Viking hero is going to be a lumberjack from Canada.
That'd be cool.
I'll allow it, but he has to come in saying, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
Or he needs to be singing about being Paul Bunyan.
They need to be an American lumberjack. I'm coming, boy.
All right, well, now is the time. Get in your last-minute questions while I'm working through some of this.
So think of my faction idea I proposed earlier. Let me take a look at it. Paladin Empire, Knights, Romans, Greeks, Barbarian Kingdoms, Barbarian Savage Cannibals, Jade Dynasty, Samurai, Indians, Koreans, Longwu, Enfield, Chinese, Egypt, and Israel. Interesting to put China and Egypt in the same branch, but I've seen worse. We'll do Eden's Gate, but it's actually biblical. Are we going to like pour through an isekai spreading the good word of Jesus Christ? Hello there, elf. I couldn't help but notice you're a pagan. We're here to fix that. Oh yeah, I don't think that version of Oh, I got Gate mixed up with Eden's Gate. But yeah, okay, I see what you're saying there. Or, you want Patrick to have a love interest? Yeah, sure, that's fine. I'll leave that up to your discretion. Raven and Lark, between the Galactic Republic and the U.S. Army, when I'm pro-Republic. Are you talking like in government system? The thing is, I would be more partial to the United States, just because the Galactic Republic has shown to be even more corrupt.
Yeah.
Are you excited for Total War Pharaoh? I'm going to wait until it comes out. Because Egypt is cool, but I prefer it in a larger context than just sort of the Bronze Age collapse. Here, can you check the symbol now that you're in the customization menu?
Sure. You said that it was the new symbol that's coming out? The one that looks like the eclipse?
Yeah.
That's not it.
No, that's not it.
Definitely not. Let's see.
Ta-da, good night. You have a good one night there, angels.
Good night.
Whew.
Going through them, is that it? Oh, is that it? Vengeful Empire? It just looks like a dude wearing a jaguar hat. It's what we guessed. But I'll look through the rest.
And Kai Ling. I'm probably going to shoot the Turian Counselor, honestly. What would you say the top 5 greatest empires are in history?
I think we've been asked that. Empire, Han Chinese, Japanese Empire.
Roman empires, definitely.
Yeah, I don't see the symbol you're talking about.
Is it in here or is it in the Stolen Empire event?
Yeah, let's take a look. I don't...
Oh, dang.
Hey, Nahami. Yeah, glad you could be here, Nahami. Like, I don't usually get to see you in these streams. Nahami's a friend of mine. She's an artist friend who did some art for me back in the day, and I wrote some stories and one poem for her. That was a long time ago. Shoot, I need to get back to work on Beware the Magic Fan. That was a story I wrote for her a while ago. And I still need to finish it. I'm close.
Beware the Magic Fan.
And don't remind me sometime, Nahami.
Isn't Beware the Magic Fan the next hero in For Honor?
No, it's called New World Eclipse. It's from the new Mythic outfit. Oh.
Oh.
Okay, let's take a look. That's a panther. Let me take a look at the symbols.
Shouldn't be like in the time thing.
Okay. I don't see any warrior in either of those. Like, legit, there's no warrior in either of these images. Yeah, man, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway.
No, good stuff there.
I looked. I didn't see it.
Now they're all saying hello to Nahami.
Yeah, Nahami is a good friend of mine. She still is a good friend of mine. She's from Germany, if any of y'all are from Germany.
Germany, Alles Deutsch, jawohl.
But it was funny. Nahami knew each other when I was just a writer on DeviantArt. Did some art projects with her in the past. Wrote something for her for one of her spider characters. I forget what that was called.
It's in symbols, not patterns.
Oh.
One more time now.
One more time. Let's see. Yeah, I thought he said symbols, but okay.
All right.
Let's see.
Oh, no, he said symbols, not paint pattern.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, you mean these with the guy wearing the jaguar head?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
That is kind of what we were expecting.
That's what we expected.
So, good stuff. My top 5 empires, Egypt, Persia, Rome, China, and British. Oh, those British getting in there with their sun never setting.
Yep. But yeah, as I was saying, Nahami and I were really good friends back in the day on Discord. Did a lot of work together. Wrote some stories for her. We decided to collab on a story idea called Beware the Magic Fan. It was funny because she showed me an image that she drew sometime in the past, and we decided to make a short story off of it. We liked the story a lot. We released the story. A lot of people enjoyed it, wanted to see more of it. We said, hey, let's make more. And so she started drawing pictures for it. I started writing for it. Very much the same way me and Jay got started on Nomad. And unfortunately, I think it's like a few chapters away from being done. I just have not worked on it in a while. I've been distracted with work and the YouTube channel so much, but I need to work on it again. It was fun. It was fun.
Yep. I forgot, what changes did the devs make to long arms to make it safer?
I don't remember.
Nobody likes the British, not even the British. Modern day, that's sadly true. What about the Russian Empire? We're not allowed to talk about it anymore. Poor Nikki. Yeah, okay. If there was a Fallout game in Texas, would the Texas Republic be a thing? Well, there was a Fallout game in Texas. It was called Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. It didn't do well.
Nope. Thoughts on Assassin's Creed Mirage? I have no thoughts.
Waiting to see it.
I have not played it. I don't really want to play it, I'll be honest with you.
It don't come out till October 3rd. Well, if things keep going and you're doing Valhalla, if we do decide to do it, I'll be the one touching it.
Well, maybe I'll let you. I'm not all that interested.
I understand. Alright, take care, Tonya. Do you plan to incorporate the new characters of the mines into For Honor and Glory?
We'll have to see. I'm already real deep into For Honor and Glory, and we're over halfway done with it. I don't see how I could fit them in. I will think about it. That's all I'll promise.
Hey, Lark, what was the biggest empire in North/South America? The Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay, Mikey, you don't have to acknowledge its existence. That's fine. I'd love to see a remaster of those old Fallout games. Oh yeah, they would sell very well. Since they had a hot potato as a premium pass execution instead of a snake. There are many Assassin's Creed
games. Hot potato is a premium pass execution.
Yep.
Like, legit. It's right. It's the very first one. It's this one. It's in the premium pass. It's the first one you get.
No, he's just surprised at it.
Oh.
There are many Assassin's Creed games. Oh, you mean Chronicles? Oh yeah, we know about them. We're not happy about it. Because we would have loved to see real games about that, not just Mario with an assassin's hood. I saw that you created an alternate timeline of For Honor and Glory with you in introducing kings and princesses.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that For Honor doesn't dive deeper into its own government and politics. I know that people like to make fun of fantasy stories or sci-fi stories that go into that, like people said that the prequels of Star Wars were bad for it. But politics and government can dictate a lot in a story. Like, they can dictate a lot in a world. So I wanted to make sure that I gave a political backdrop to all three of the factions. The only one that we know had a government in the campaign, were the samurai who had an emperor. That was the only one that we heard about. We didn't hear about a High King of Valkanon. We didn't hear about a king and Ashfeld. And so I said, I'm going to fix that. But anyway, I think that's it. I am pretty tired and it's late, so what do you think, Lark? Anything else?
Let's see. Things complicated for months. For Honor needs a Shogun. For Honor related. Do you actually think Apollyon's goal... What do you think of Apollyon's goal and overall idea?
I like it. I think it's really cool. It's a fascinating villain. Is Glad related to Sent in any way? They're both Roman. They're both of Roman descent.
How many stories did you make?
I lost count. I have made dozens upon dozens upon dozens of stories.
Rockenstone, indeed. I don't get why people don't like that stuff in fantasy.
Because they think it's boring. They want the cool pew pew action sword fighting stuff. They don't care about the political intrigue.
You played ACU Liberation, right?
I did. I didn't finish it. It just wasn't all that engaging.
It was a side project.
Well, the only fascinating thing about it was you disguising yourself in 3 different ways as either a slave girl, a debutante, or you're an assassin. And each one gave you different abilities or different ways of approaching the game. But it was a little weird. It was supposed to be before Connor, I think. But I don't know. I didn't follow the story that well.
Interesting stuff there, LP. You'll have to tell me more. See, those guys gave us the Resistance in the first order. So back to Mass Effect Saturday. That is the plan as of right now.
So what the plan is tomorrow our parents are coming over to help us with some stuff, and we're going to celebrate Father's Day with them. They're not going to stay all night. They're going to leave, I'm going to guess, around 8 or 8:30, which is when we usually start streaming. But we'll be tired. So what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to do a very short Persona 5 stream. We're going to do a little bit more Persona 5, just a short stuff, so that we can laugh and have a good time. And then Saturday we return to Mass Effect. And Sunday, we don't know. We might do something Sunday, we might not. It depends on a lot of things. So, yeah. That's the plan right now.
Yeah. All right, I think that's about it.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I know that it was kind of a bummer for a little while where I fell silent, and I apologize again for that. We'll make up for it. Oh, hold on. How about reading your stories as a story channel? No, I mean, I actually have a story channel now. I actually do have a story channel. One second. Let me actually link that in the chat so that y'all can get to it if you want to. Because I do have one. And I'd like to share it.
So you might want you to share Beware the Magic Fan on there.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will. You never know. Let me...
That is a wild story.
Beware the Magic Fan is a very weird story, but it's a funny one, too. I enjoy working on it.
It's sort of like 90s anime, in my opinion. That's sort of like the inspiration for it. At least that's the way I see it.
Let me see. Let me go to my channel.
To someone who was asking earlier while he's finding that, did the Romans wear pants? It depends on the era. Early on, no, they considered pants as barbaric, but eventually they realized, having comfortable clothing down there, particularly in colder regions, was a nice thing to have, so they adopted the pants.
Yep.
Good night. I'll be trying to be here next live stream. Thank you, Cross.
All right, got it right.
Like Sailor Moon? Something like that.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop this.
I dare not spoil anything.
There we go. The link is now in chat, so you all should be able to go subscribe to my writing channel. It's very new. I only released it about a week or two ago, and there's not a lot on it yet, but more stuff will be added, and I intend to read some stuff on it.
Oh, yes, G-Dog. In the most polite way possible, more Raven Knight lore. Thank you for your time.
Got a new watcher. Thank you, Nahami. Always glad to hear from you, and I promise I will start working on... I'll start working on Beware the Magic Fan again. I am so sorry. Yeah, that needs to happen. Yep. Oh, man, I'm tired. All right, well, thank you guys so much. Don't forget, stream tomorrow night, stream Saturday night. Sunday, we might do another stream. I don't know yet. We'll see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Nahami, for showing up. Once again, another happy birthday to Hannah. So glad that it's your birthday. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care.
Have a good one, fellas.